Yo, people, welcome back to another episode of Premier League Khanage, episode 12, I believe. Am I right, Bilal?
I heard it was 7,
I
but
tried to
we'll get
make
into
it
it.
7, go back to the future to make it 7, but I thought, no, the game's the game. We'll make it episode 12. We'll stick to the rules and the laws. You know what I mean? Brixton May says, thoroughly enjoyed this weekend. I think all of us did actually, even Mo did, of course, into one as well. So I think we all thoroughly enjoyed this weekend. But of course, to talk it all through with me, I've got Bilal, who, yeah, must have been another emotional roller coaster of a weekend for you. I'm telling you, bro, by the time this Premier League is finished for you, my friend, will have, I think you will have a hairline very close to like mine.
It could be. It could be. Honestly, the way I watch every game, I come out with the same things. Like every game's becoming the same now. The referees, the referees. Oh, but you know what? We dug in. We dug deep. We found a way to win. Even the other night against Everton, like we didn't even play that well. We got 2-0 first half somehow, right? We played better in the Leicester game, but it seemed to be a comfortable game. Even now going into that Bournemouth game, you're thinking, okay, it should be a really easy game, should be comfortable, rotate the players a bit like Arteta did, brought on Vieira, Tomiyasu, etc. But it is, I think I mentioned this maybe on Premier League Carnage or maybe one of the other shows that we do on this channel that I'm not that comfortable with these home games. When the way we play at home sometimes doesn't make sense. Like because we're so attacking, because we know we need to take the initiative, we have to go all out. And against Bournemouth, I think we had the most touches in one game, right? Out of all the Premier League games this season, we really stuck it on them, but we're always going to be vulnerable in transition. Away from home, it's an easier game. You know, you sit a little bit tighter, you're a bit stronger in the defense, it's a lot easier to play, and you just do your job. But yeah, it's been a wild, wild season, as you like to say, Grizz. And Reece Nelson, obviously we'll get into the games later. I just want to big him up quickly as well, because he's a kid who's had a lot of injuries. He's a kid who's actually been in and out of the team. And he's also, you know, we talk about Haaland, we talk about our academy players, the Sackers, the Smith Rowes, the Nketiahs. Everyone talks about Reece. Reece was the guy. Reece was the main star boy. You know, the original star boy of
The
this crop
original
of
Star
players.
Boys. You've had so
Yeah.
many though. Like how many original Star Boys have you had?
But out of this group of players from
Out
like
of this, out of
this
this group.
ages, yeah,
Mm.
out of this group, the one they all look up to was Reece, right? So for him to actually come on and do what he's been doing has been incredible. And yeah, perfect. Literally 10 out of 10 performance. When he came on, literally it's 10 out of 10. Everything he did was effective. And
How
that
old is he
goal,
now?
23 years old. He's only 23. So for me, he's going to get that new contract now from what we're talking. He's going to be out of contract in the summer. Give him that new contract and let's see what he can do. If he can keep it going this way, fair enough, because he's one of our own. And as a fan, you want to give these guys opportunities in the team and in the squad in general.
Man, fair enough. I'm sure you saw the Arsenal game as well, Mo. They're doing it the hard way, but there is no easy way. Do you know what I mean? Like when you win when you're in a Premier League race, it's this way or the highway. So however they got to do it, they got to get over the line.
Yeah. Listen, Arsenal, the comeback can be looked at in two different ways. Is it the comeback of a champion, or is it like the guy that is drowning and holding into something? You can look at it in two different ways, because you watch this Bournemouth team is one of the weakest teams in the Premier League, and to fall 2-0 behind is not a good sign. However, coming back from behind from 2-0 down at the Emirates with the crowd being behind them and in the last minute is something that will get the morale up. However, questions again need to be asked about the game plan in the first half and the rotation, especially with Thursday coming. They got the schedule is going to be a little bit packed for them with Thursdays, playing Thursday. And I'm going to keep saying this. No team has ever won the Premier League playing Thursday football, ever. So that would be the
interesting
first.
stat. Interesting stat. This could be a weird.
So history in the making. Manchester United losing the biggest loss in the history of the Premier League. Arsenal might win the league with the first time playing Thursday football this season. And Haaland might break the record for Salah. Might not. Salah as well being the top scorer for the Liverpool team in the Premier League. History is in the making, Grizz.
Keep an eye on all these stats and records, man. Records could be tumbling like they were tumbling on Sunday afternoon, our time. God knows what time it was for you, my friend.
7 o'clock for Grizz.
You are actually officially 7 minutes late. I wonder why. I wonder why. I mean, this is your life right now. Basically, everything revolves around seven. Like, can you change your number to 27, maybe? Michael underscore 27? Because you are actually 7 minutes late. I can't believe it. We didn't plan it like this. But as Manda says, my condolences, Michael. What time was it? Where was you? You know those usual questions. Where was you? What time was it? How are you
So
now?
it was 11:30 in the morning. That's when the game started. Obviously, the capitulation happened at around 12:30. It was my grandma. We were celebrating my grandma's birthday. I was with my godson. It was good vibes. Also,
Everything was fine.
never watch a game around your family. That is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Because when that second half started, I was watching the game on my phone with my AirPods in, so no one would bother me. And everyone just kept looking at me. No one knew what to do. My dad passed me the tequila when it got to 3-0 because he knew what I needed. Um, it's just something that I didn't expect. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch the fifth, sixth, or seventh goal. I turned the game off. I couldn't watch it anymore. I still haven't even seen the
Oh,
goals.
don't worry. We will describe the
Oh,
fifth,
yeah, go ahead.
sixth, and seventh for
I,
you.
I've,
Don't
se-
worry.
I,
That's
I've
what we're
se-
here for. We're
Oh,
here
that's
to
great.
therapy.
I also hate the numbers. I also hate the number 7. I actually used to love the number 7. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of my favorite players of all time. Carmelo Anthony, one of my favorite basketball players. I used to like that number. Now I actually despise it. Like that, I have a CR7 jersey right next to me. I don't even want to look at it. It's gonna go even deeper in my closet and just hide. In terms of, do you want me to talk about the game?
Nah, we'll tuck into it later, man. It's not
Okay,
even
that's
the
good.
main event. It's not even the main event.
Alright.
It's a sideshow, man. We're into the 7th hour of the evening. Just realized.
Oh my god.
It's mad. It's mad. Yo, Ahmed. What's the matter, Ahmed? What's the matter? Why are you not showing my comments, Grizz? Pure hater, bro. Of course, I don't know you first and foremost to hate you, right? And because your Liverpool scored 7 goals just like Villa did in the great 7-2 deflections and poor defending players part, and then you've done a few emojis. Like, why do you want me to read your comments out? Grizz getting giddy again. Why should I read out stupid comments?
He's on
I'm not
you.
a
He's on
hater.
you.
He's on me, you know. He's on me. Michael's our man, bro. Nick G, yeah, of course. Michael is our guy, man. We feel for him, but he's one of the less emotional ones, I'd say. He was keeping it real. I don't know, Bilal. Was he keeping it real? But we're gonna get.
No,
into
he
the-
wasn't. He fell for the trap.
Did he
Last-
carry the way at the end?
Last show, he's telling me Varane and Martinez best centre back partnership. I told him, bro, chill. Gabriel and Saliba are still here, man. You got Van Dijk and Kunate.
Wait. Yeah. We still got Van Dijk and Kanate. 5
But the
sheets
guy-
in a row. Things is
But
wrong.
Michael,
First of all,
you
when
fell
it comes
for
to that,
you fell for the bait.
okay,
bro.
forget that. But when it came to the game, what did I say a couple weeks ago? I said I'm not confident going into this game, and I could
You
easily
wasn't.
see Man United losing at Anfield. I was not the one that said we're gonna cook at Anfield. I know what Anfield is. It's not. I know Real
We're gonna
Madrid
get
is, but it's
into
different.
we're gonna get into
But
that
yeah.
because obviously your manager didn't know what Anfield was. But I guess Mo, the first game of the weekend was Man City Newcastle, possibly not the biggest game because obviously Liverpool Man United is the biggest game. But I guess Man City Newcastle, in terms of Newcastle coming back off the League Cup defeat, Man City need to keep on their toes, both in the top 4 or 5 at the time. I think Newcastle have dropped out since. It wasn't
Newcastle-
as easy. This sounds like a easy run-of-the-mill win. It wasn't, though.
It wasn't. However, it looked like Manchester City did exactly what they needed to do, which is just rely on their individual quality. Newcastle had about 3 clear-cut chances that should have been scored. One of them was actually the result was still 1. 2 of them was the result was still 1-0. Foden, he was really good this game. Individual quality again from that right side, dribbling, driving inside the 18. Haaland getting involved in the game. Man City again are playing like the team that knows what to do in what game, and exactly this game, because Newcastle from the get-go were trying to press very high, and who thinks that Newcastle will try to press Man City at the Etihad? But they did it, and they were not bad at all. But again, they don't have the individual quality that Man City has. And on the bench, Bernardo Silva coming on from the bench, scoring after 30 seconds. This is what you get when you have these top quality players. And the game wasn't easy for Man City, but you win these games with the small margins of like, I have the better players. And Man City, they had the better players.
Yeah, Foden's Bilal, everyone, he seems to be the forgotten prodigy of the season. Obviously, rumors of off the field issues and this and that. Always rumors when a young player doesn't get enough looking or time playing wise, and we know he's been sort of caught in like some situations where he shouldn't be in, whatever. But this guy, for me, we had a massive debate on the Big Six last week where it was Saka or him. And even though they're totally different players, I think they're totally different players.
Yeah.
I know they're both left-footed. This guy's so good. So good.
100%. Like, to be honest, right, the comparisons are so stupid. Like Foden and Saka, it doesn't even make sense. But listen, depends on what you like. Because for me, Foden, when you watch him play, he is the more aesthetically pleasing player. I think for most people would say that, right?
You reckon, yeah?
Foden. Yeah, you'd say Foden, the way he glides with the ball, the way he's so agile, able to twist players left and right, able to get into real tight spaces. I think he maybe looks better, like a Musiala. So Musiala and Pedri, although they're both great players, a lot of people maybe say, Musiala might just look a bit better just because of the way he can dribble and get past players. And I think Foden has that quality about him as well. When you compare him to like of a Saka is a completely different player. It doesn't really make any sense to compare them. So I won't even do that. But yeah, Foden, his goal was great. Dribbling past players, looking like prime Messi right now. Foden. And I have no words for him. Pep needs to use him more. It seemed like now
but Pep's a proper task man. Pep is probably one of the best at dealing with youngsters, I think. As long as he fancies you, pause. You know what I mean? As long as he fancies you as a player. Like, if he sees you, if he knows you're here for the long term and he's going to utilize you for the long term, then he's got a plan for you.
I want to ask a question, Bilal, for this, about this.
Yeah.
Particular Foden, you and Grizz and Michael. The difference in this game is that Foden took the ball, Kevin De Bruyne open space, and I know you guys saw the goal, and he was driven inside the 18 trying to go to the goal. Is that what City needs? Because Jack Grealish doesn't do this.
Yeah.
And is that the difference? We saw the difference. Jack Grealish gets the ball, slows it down, and people are running. And I'm not running an agenda against game. People say I have an agenda. I actually don't like the way Grealish plays for the City. I like more of a direct winger like Saka, Martinelli, Foden, Riyad Mahrez. These guys, even Salah and Luis Diaz. Grealish doesn't do that. And we saw this game. Sometimes you'll need the direct winger to open up a defense. And it happened.
Grealish does bring a lot of quality, man. I'm not going to say he doesn't because he's got the ability to. It's difficult. It's as long as Pep is happy with the way he's playing for his team. And we know Pep micromanages, Mo. Pep micromanages games. So if he's happy with the input on the way Grealish is dealing with the game, then it's difficult. It's obvious, or it seems obvious, he's not happy with Foden's way of playing in this team. So we might like it. As Bilal says, it's athletically pleasing to the eye. We might like it. But Pep seems like to prefer the Grealish way of playing, or the wide man playing. Like he plays one out-and-out winger and Mahrez, and then the other one, whether it's Grealish, whether it's Foden, or whether it's Silva, is a different type of winger. Do you get what I mean, Michael? I don't know. But Foden, I think Foden is probably when it comes to all-rounder, all those types of forwards I've chosen, I think Foden's got it all, personally.
Yeah, Pep's been gassing him for ever since he was 18. Coming out the academy, he's like, this is kind of like his Messi in a sense at Man City. He could kind of nurture him, and Mo's right though. That penetration is so crucial to Man City. The best Man City we ever saw was when they had two penetration wingers in Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling. That was the best Man City that you just couldn't beat them. They just looked unstoppable. And Phil Foden kind of has that. Remember Atletico last year at home when it was 0-0. It was Phil Foden that came on that pitch and changed the game. And we saw that against Newcastle. That's the best Phil Foden, where he could just be himself and use that brilliance and then create something. Otherwise, when Pep has him doing touchline duties, you're not going to see Phil Foden. He's just passing it back like Jack Grealish. So I think that's on Pep though, but because Pep is Pep prefers to Jack Grealish because he prefers the ball retention. That's his motto now. I guess he's changed it, but I think for me, Phil Foden is that kind of X factor that City sometimes lack in games like this, and he showed it on Thursday. And if they're gonna want to come back against Arsenal, you're gonna need this kind of Phil Foden to continuously play like this, and in UCL as well.
Mo, was you gonna say, Mo? Do you put which out of those three type of players that we mentioned, Mahrez, Grealish, and Foden? Who's gonna be the most successful for Man City? Obviously, Mahrez is probably coming to the near the end of his career. Foden, the start of his career, and Grealish fairly, unless Grealish gets sold, Who do you think is going to be the most successful out of them three?
Phil Foden, of course. Phil Foden, of course, for me has the higher ceiling. But however, Riyad Mahrez, nobody can deny winning the league with Leicester, being the player of the year, and also moving to Man City and winning all these leagues with them is something that we cannot sit here and deny. Being an integral part, it's not only being one of the players in the squad. Riyad Mahrez was always an integral part of the way that Man City plays, or
100%.
even the Champions League runs. But the question that I want to ask you about, like Grealish is an absolutely an immense player in terms of ball retention, leading a team, getting the team up the pitch. But isn't this the worst City team you have seen in the last 4 or 5 years?
I think it's a team in transition. I know Liverpool and Man City fans hate that word, but I genuinely do think stylistically they've both changed, tried to accommodate different types of strikers. So even though I've bantered them and said the worst Man City team in a long time, technically I guess they are, right, guys? I don't know. Like,
depends how they end the season.
I think for me they're better than 1920 team though. Like, if we're gonna be honest.
Just because
that team had
just because we walked the league and demoralized them, is that what you're saying?
I feel like this team, like that team lacks something. Obviously Laporte was out for most of the year too. Like this team, like is still good. Like they're not that far off the pace.
I think it's too early to say that if they're the worst team. You know why? Like Bilal says, what if they end up winning the FA Cup, end up winning the Champions League?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're right. You're 100% right.
And they're still up for the league.
Yeah,
title.
Exactly. They can still win free competition. So why are we saying
in terms of on the eye, they might be the worst.
On the eye, that the stats.
Yeah, on the eye. Guys. Yeah, no, on the eye. And for me, I didn't honestly before the season started. I honestly thought Pep would have tried Foden, Haaland, Alvarez front three and kept going with that because I thought that would be the most exciting front three that they could actually put out there. And for me, to be honest, right, Foden even on the right it's not my preferred position for him. I don't even think he's that good there. I think he's better off the left or coming inside.
Do you think that's his best position?
I'd say for me, watching him play out of all these positions, yes, I know he did his stuff on the right, coming inside, etc. I think I always prefer him on the left side where Grealish is playing, or if not, please get him a free role, roaming maybe position in the midfield. But the problem is with KDB in there, obviously Gundogan in there, it's going to be really hard for him to do that. And also another thing affecting a player like Foden is Pep. Now, without having proper fullbacks as well in the team, the likes of, even Walker's there, Cancelo, like, how obsessed he's becoming with like retaining the ball. It's because he doesn't have runners. I know he's been obsessed with it, but in the past he could get this. I know, but this is more than before. This is more than before. Even his Barcelona teams of the past, you have Messi, you have Pedro, you have David Villa, you have attackers who actually attack. In this team, he's so obsessed with keeping the ball because I feel like he's getting scared of the transitions. He's getting scared of runners in the midfield. And he feels like the best way to combat that is by keeping the ball as much as possible. So players like Foden, maybe, for some reason, are maybe being put to the side. People saying he had an injury. Who knows? I don't know.
Did he, that quote people are bringing up that he said about wingers? Did he actually say that, guys? Anyone? Did he actually say that he does?
It was a report. It was a report that came out that said he thinks having wingers like Sterling and Sane are not for Man City anymore. He needs the Grealish types, to come and control the game.
Do you think he was just saying that because to defend Grealish, maybe from criticism that I'm the one who's encouraging him to play like this, one of those ones? Do you think maybe he's saying that?
Also, Haaland's in the team, right? Haaland's changed the dynamic of the team again because the way he plays, he's a striker wants to play on the last man. He's not going to help you with link-up play, control of the game. So he wants now the rest of the players, the wingers who are meant to be attacking and stretching the pitch, to actually control the game as well, and then let Haaland and do his thing and maybe the number 10.
They need to compensate, Grizz. They need to compensate for the number of touches. And I said that before. The number of touches a forward gets in Pep's team over the past 5 years, 6 years of Man City is 40 plus touches. It's the average now is 20 touches for Haaland. That doesn't take anything away from the guy. He's an absolutely the best number 9, but somebody else has to compensate because Man City touches the ball at the same time. They have the same ball position. So someone else has to compensate.
I thought Newcastle, if they had a better striker and better forwards, like Gordon's just joined them. The other fella. Who's the other fella on the other side?
Isaac.
No.
As well.
No, it was Almiron. He's fallen off a little bit.
Oh, yes.
And then Wilson, hit and miss. I don't rate Wilson like that. But very quickly, how many goals has Haaland got now? How many is left to break Salah's record? Does anybody know?
27, and he has 7 to go to get to 34. Salah?
Wasn't it 40?
No.
Well, are we talking
In
about
the
the Premier League record?
34. We're only
34.
counting Premier League because the number of games are the same.
Didn't Salah score 32? Isn't the record 32 goals?
32
No,
or 34?
No, 34.
Is it 34?
I'm pretty sure 34 is Andy Cole's in the 40.
Yeah, it's 32 for Salah,
So
because
32.
Ronaldo's one was 31 and Salah broke it to make it 32.
And then it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
So then, yeah, he's gonna break this record, which is insane. I think this, as we talked about records this season, like there's so many weird records being broken at the same time. Like even if Arsenal win the league, I think it's probably the youngest team, the youngest manager to ever win the league. You're gonna have Haaland breaking records in this first.
So he needs
season.
7. So he needs 7 goals.
6 goals, I'd say
5.
6 goals.
5 goals.
5
goals to match it. Yeah, 6 to break it.
32. There, yeah, we're right. So 32 Salah, 34 for the Andy Cole record, which is the record, right?
In the 40
No, the
games.
record is Salah. Because it's 42
32
games.
in the 38 games
Yeah.
in the Salah record.
Yes,
Shearer have 34 in a 42 game season. Thank you, Philip. Okay, cool.
Insane.
We got it. So we're looking at he's on 27, right?
Yes.
You said. So he's 5 away with 13 games to go. Lord have mercy.
Goal drought maybe incoming. Take him out your SPL team, guys. Might not happen.
That ain't working. But look, they won comfortably in the end 2-0. They put the pressure on you guys. And then Bournemouth put the pressure on you guys. Like, what the hell was that start about? I called it a little bit of first time I've seen a bit of complacency in Arsenal.
Yeah.
Bit of arrogance in Arsenal. That's just my opinion. I just thought, I don't know. What did you think?
Well, it happened so quick. You don't even understand what's happened. After the game today, the referees are saying that it should have been disallowed, actually, which is another error by the Premier League. I just want to point that out because they said Bournemouth had players obviously inside the half, and I saw the picture. They did. So the kickoff should have actually been restarted. But despite all of that, you still shouldn't concede in that manner, so quick, so easily, cut through in 9 seconds, right? So that's just the team switching off, not really being alert to the danger, and Bournemouth took advantage of it. And after that, they defended for their lives. They played a really smart game. And when you're 1-0 down, I was comfortable. It's one of those ones. When a team scores that early against you, you're like, we've got the whole game to rectify this. So let's get a goal before halftime. Let's make it 1-1, go into the break, and second half, take them apart again. But then we don't get that goal in the first half. And the second half, right, we still don't get a goal. There was one chance before they actually scored. I believe Ramsdale pulled off another great save.
Magnificent save. Like, even though it was a magnificent save, Solanke messed it up. That was a tapping.
Yeah, I think Solanke ran in front of the other player for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Championship level forward, man. Solanke. Championship level forward.
He played for Liverpool.
I thought it was really good.
Calma.
I know you would say that, Grizz. I know you would say that.
He played for Liverpool. Calma. We made good money on him. Very good money.
Before the game, I was speaking to my friends. I said, I watched Bournemouth against Man City. I know they're not good. I know we should beat them. But I said they've got runners. I watched them run at Man City a few times in that game. I know Man City it became 4-1 in the end, right? It was a comfortable game, yes, for Man City. But I saw something for Bournemouth, like in transition, I know they can be a threat. And they have some players on the break who are very quick, very hard to stop, especially when we're attacking so much. We're so high up the pitch. They could always get a chance. But the thing that happened was we didn't get that first goal back to make it 1-1. The worst thing you can do in that position when you're chasing the game now is to go and concede a header to a team that's parking the bus. I'm like, guys, what is going on? You go and concede that header to Sensi. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He makes it 2-0. But at that point, again, this team just it has a never say die attitude. Replied straight away, right, with that Thomas Partey goal. And just from that goal.
At 2-0, was it the most vulnerable you've been this season?
It not the most vulnerable, because after that 2-0, right, before we even made it 2-1, there was a little chance that we created where they nearly scored an own goal. And I saw in the keeper and the centre-backs, they started like smiling to each other. Oh, we got away with the one there. Right, it's one of those ones.
I'll tell you what, do you know why I'm asking?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't chance after chance after chance. Bournemouth didn't have much to save. It was a lot of possession, as you're always going to have.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember any great chances for Arsenal.
Nope. No great chances. They didn't have a clear-cut chance. It was all a lot of crosses, 90% ball position, lots of crosses, lots of blocked shots and far from the goal, and that's what happened. And in this game, Bournemouth defended really well. Actually, the cross that Reece Nelson crossed actually was not meant for Ben White. It went all the way to the other side. And credit to Ben White for being there, being inside the 18. But for me, I thought Arsenal were not as good. Yeah, the comeback is great and all, and it's going to help the morale. But actually, that tells team that you can still catch Arsenal on the counter-attack because they push too many men forward.
But you know what I said, though? And I said this, I think it was the best thing again that's happened to Arsenal, because this is the first game I saw a bit of complacency and maybe a bit of arrogance. Oh, we just got to turn up as Bournemouth. And even though they lost the 2 goals, they nearly lost. In the end, they won, and they will have learned the lesson. So when you can learn the lesson while winning, that can hold you in good stead.
Also, I would say like Jesus obviously out, and Nketiah was out, and Trossard got injured during the game as well.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe comes on, who's half fit, still gets the assist, and then you bring on Reece Nelson, who's been injured himself. He comes on. This whole team, doesn't matter who it is, they're finding a way to get the job done, and that's what's really impressive about this team. I know we didn't create many great chances before our goals, but Bournemouth, the way they defended, it doesn't matter what team that does that. The way they defended was so deep in the penalty box. The last team that I remember really doing that was Atletico Madrid when they came to Arsenal in one of the Europa League games, and they actually managed to win on a counter with Griezmann, right? That was a level of parking the bus that I was seeing from Bournemouth, and they have to do that. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not one of those Pepites, as Michael would call them, who would say, yeah, you guys, why are you parking? No. I understand. Park the bus.
Do what you got to do.
Game. Yeah, do what you got to do. I respect it. I'm never going to downplay that.
Well, they were counter-attacking with the numbers, though.
Exactly, and they were counter-attacking with numbers when they got the chance. For our side, from an Arsenal point of view, we just found a way to get the job done again. But as I said as well, Mo, you're right. We can't keep on letting those chances happen. We can't keep on putting ourselves in this position as well, time after time, making games difficult for ourselves. And that's why right now I feel more comfortable when I know it's an away game, because I know away from home, more often than not, we don't do this kind of game. We don't play this kind of game. But at home, with the crowd, with the fans, with the energy, we play this very high risk, high reward kind of game. And it is what it is. We're getting the results done, and now we've got, I believe, so we've got Sporting. So now the Europa League is going to start. Let's see how much Arteta rotates in that, and how the Thursday Sunday thing can now be juggled. That's the new test for this team.
To add to what you just said, that the thing about, like, I think me and Grizz talked about it, is like the end of the season, these teams are going to come with more fire in them. The teams that won points, they're not going to just give you the points. They're going to fight for every single point.
Have you seen their league? Let me get it
mad.
There's 6 points between the 12th and the last team. So every time you're going to play a team from these guys, you're going to be like struggling, because they're not going to give you an easy, there's not going to be an easy win. People are going to die on this pitch for a point. Nobody wants to go down, and it's too tight, that gap. So I think this is where they show the character.
There is no easy games. Even though they're the bottom team, did they effing play like the bottom team? Like, I don't know, Michael, if you like, I know how do you call this? Or are you confident in your calls if you were to make calls?
That's what I said. I said Southampton and Bournemouth. That's the one I guaranteed.
But did Bournemouth show you something? Like,
I mean, their counterattack looks good. Utara, the kid that came from Lorient, he's quick. Solanke, actually, I thought he was really good on Saturday. He was a good outlet, and he actually the whole play was good. Obviously, finishing, he's not the best at. That's kind of why his career went downhill after the Liverpool and Chelsea, because he wasn't bagging the goals. But just like the basic link play was actually quite decent for me.
At West Ham,
but
they're going like.
Is it West Ham or is it Leicester? Because Leicester might be the ones that might even go more.
Leicester's scary. I think Southampton. You know what? I changed my mind. Like, Southampton, a weird team. I feel like they might just stay up.
Would they be on the weekend?
They beat Leicester 1-0.
Oh, it'd be Leicester. Yeah, I think
crazy
Leicester,
6-pointer.
Leicester. I think they have to sack Brendan Rodgers within like the next international break. The international breaks in a couple weeks. They need to sack him then and there, because their season is capitulating, and Maddison keeps getting injured too. So you're not even gonna have the consistency in Maddison. So I think Tielemans is out for like another 2 months as well. So I think they're in real danger over there in Leicester.
Leeds as well, I think, will go down.
Yeah, I don't know how to call this, guys.
I'm confident Leeds will get relegated. Every game I watch, I've never seen a more useless team at putting the ball in the back of the net. I just think,
in terms of finishing,
at the back as well, like all round, they just.
I've seen one in the last 3 seasons, which is Brighton. That's what Chelsea has become exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I wanna talk about Arsenal. Now Thursday has come. You're gonna play Thursday, Sporting Lisbon away. Now you're gonna go to Fulham away, and you have Trossard injured. Emil Smith Rowe is not fit. How Bilal being how do you think you should approach these games? Should you rotate on Thursday, throw away the Europa League, throw it away because now Trossard is not. I think he's back in 2 weeks.
They said he could be back before the international break, and Ketia they're saying touch and go, and Jesus is back soon. They might travel with the team to Sporting.
Are they home on Thursday or away?
They're away and they go away to Fulham on Sunday. Only 3 days in between, and now they have to play another Thursday. It's not Champions League anymore. You will have to play the Thursday after right away. This is 3 games within 7 days.
Make or break. But it's every weekend's gonna be make or break. Every weekend's gonna be emotional. Like, is this it? Oh, fucked.
Yeah.
Oh no, elation. Like, it's gonna be extremes. There's gonna be no in between.
It's not fun.
Honestly, it's
my Liverpool friends last year. I saw their faces.
Bro,
they were not enjoying football.
I'm telling you, man. I lost about a stone, man, every season. That's what I lost about 4 stone the last 4 seasons, bro. I'm telling you, it's wild. This chase is wild. And Mo's right. I think he has to make a decision. Surely he's not going to go same Sporting Lisbon, same Fulham away on the weekend. It's Sunday, right? Must be Sunday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Luckily, Fulham's not really a proper away trip. So luckily on that side, it's not that big of a trip. Obviously, it's just in London. But with the Sporting game, rotate as much as we can. Nelson starts. Smith Rowe, if he's fit, starts.
Yeah, Nelson gets thrown in.
Jorginho comes in. You know, Kiwior, our new centre-back signing that we haven't seen, gets his debut, hopefully. Rob Holding, throw him in there. Tomiyasu, who we got at left-back, Tierney, exactly, Matt Turner. All of these players need to play. And I think the squad is good enough to progress at least until the semi-final of the Europa League, I'd imagine.
Sporting Lisbon are not great. Like,
from what I've heard, they're not as good as they were at the beginning of the season.
Arsenal's second team isn't great as well. Arsenal's second team isn't going to be great.
I don't think he's going to play second team. I think he's going to make about 3 to 4 maximum changes.
With Jorginho, I think
it's going to be the backups he trusts. It's going to be the backups that he really trusts. Like Jorginho, for example. Tomiyasu.
Fabio Vieira probably go again.
Yeah, Matt Turner will probably play, I think. Yeah, I think he trusts Matt Turner. He trusted him against City in the FA Cup.
We've got Tierney still to go, so he's decent.
It's still a decent team. I think the only question is maybe like a Holding if he plays, right? But because Kiwior signed, maybe a Saliba will play, right? It depends how. That might be one of the few changes that don't happen. Saka, unfortunately for him, yeah, bro, you're gonna have to keep. This kid's the only player in the team that doesn't have a replacement. You're gonna have to keep playing.
No, you can't. That's the one player that you can't risk, I think. But he seems to be like the Mohamed Salah, where he's just, you know what I mean? He's fit.
Saka
he doesn't
just
get
plays
injured. He plays every single game. But
he just need a draw, though, to be fair, in Portugal. They don't need to win the game. They just get the draw and then come back Emirates and beat them there. That's all they really got to do. Away goals don't count either.
It's going to be interesting. Fulham away is not going to be easy. I know they got Brentford tonight.
I love Fulham, man. We're
looking for Brentford to do something for us. Like, this is how it is, man, right? They're chasing Liverpool these days. So that's how life's different for us. Chelsea won a game. I
hate that club. Not Grizz. I'm joining you on the hate Chelsea brigade. That club they're pissing me off the last couple of days.
Yeah, but they're 5 points closer to the magical 40 mark.
No. 600 mil for 40-point hype. I'm not having this, man.
He's bantering, bro. Grizz is bantering.
No, I'm serious.
I know what he's saying because I know what team. I know because they're the 40-point. I've heard them the 40-point thing. Nah, man.
I'm being serious, guys. Look, they changed the system again. He went back to a back 3 this time. Young talent Loftus-Cheek this week was playing right wing back, and Chilwell was playing left wing back. Again, on paper, this team is it, man. Just the right wing back is a bit shady. The rest of this team, no way should be where they are. Was it convincing for you, Mo? Again,
not really. They missed 2 chances. Yes, again, for some reason, Graham Potter. And I'm gonna say this: you have one of the strikers of the last 5, 6, 7 years, which is Aubameyang. Yes, he hasn't been firing, but freaking Kai Havertz cannot put the ball in the back of the net. Play Aubameyang. Give him a chance. You want to win the games. You want to save yourself. You want to save the job. Kai Havertz missed a one.
So then it must be
clear-cut.
personal then. So it must be personal then.
You don't
It
press
has
enough.
to be.
It's gonna be
It's
depressing.
every manager. No, every manager plays Havertz. I don't understand. If I'm a manager, he's the first player that's getting dropped.
Or would you
I don't
say-
understand
or
why
would
He's
everyone's
you
a
say-
loving him.
great player, Bilal. He's a great player, but not a striker. He's absolutely a very good player as a false nine. But you don't have Joao Felix, who's another false nine, and Raheem Sterling, who's not a forward. At least play one of the scoring wingers for you. Nobody is there to score the goals. Fofana scoring the goal from a corner kick. By the way, after the second chance, I didn't think Chelsea would have scored the goal. They pressed, but no real chance after that second chance that Felix had. This Chelsea team again, they are 10th in the league in creating chances. They don't create a lot of chances. And now they have Chilwell on the left. They have Enzo. They have Kovacic. As Grizz said, a great lineup. But it looks like Graham Potter doesn't know what to do. He has no idea. He's out of ideas. He's out of ideas.
Look, the pressure was on him, right, lads? The pressure was on him. You know, they talked about sort of 3 games to save his. Was it like this game, Dortmund and I can't remember the third one. Whoever the
I
next
think
one
that
is.
Leeds and Dortmund are the key ones. Yeah.
Oh, Leeds.
Okay,
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Leeds, Dortmund. Yeah.
They have
They get
Leicester
us-
next week. That's what they have.
Who?
They have Leicester away next week.
Cash money win, even for them. That's actually you never know.
No, I
You never-
disagree with you.
Bro, I can see James
I don't
Madison
trust
scoring a
Leicester,
brace
man.
on them so easily.
I don't think it's cash money, man. I don't think it's cash money. Honestly, the way this team's playing Chelsea right now, they're without their talisman at the back, Silva, who's a mainstay. They look like they've got the midfielders back. Conte's back now as well. Kovacic is back. Zakaria. Why doesn't he play Zakaria, man? That's another
He's not that
mystery.
good. He's
Every
not that
time
good, that's why.
every time Zakaria plays, the Chelsea fans think that Zakaria is the one. He should be given the chances. Yet he keeps pursuing with Fernandes and Kovacic. Fernandes is growing into it, you can tell. Sterling, Havertz, and who's the other forward? Felix.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, Mo, if they're the 10th at creating chances. I thought they would have had created more than that up the ranks in that. But they've got that Fofana guy. Like, if he's going to be your long term, well, he's not going to be long term because they're looking for another striker, right? It's mad. I don't understand what they're planning. No, seriously, what do you think that guys?
Can I correct you, Grizz? Can I correct you? They're actually expected goal. They're 14th in the league. Their XG.
It's gone down.
It's gone
Getting
down
worse.
within
Getting worse.
2-3 games.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I'm
It's
shocked.
ridiculous.
It's like, you know what it is? It is. I think even last show where we were talking about Chelsea, and even when Tuchel was going through it, and Chelsea still had this problem of not being able to create chances, their forwards actually scoring goals, they would have their centre backs step up and score a header. And that's the one thing that happened in that game when Fofana steps up, gets the goal. But it's still a worry when your goal is only coming from your defenders. You're not really
again.
much
Yeah.
with
Do you
your
remember last
forwards.
season they were scoring? Do you remember the early part of last season where they were flying before Christmas, and it was all because of defenders getting them out of jail? Do you remember Alonso was he still there?
Yeah,
Was
bro.
The
I think it was
Rudigers, all of these
I think
guys.
it was like 12 goals in a row they scored last year with all by
Rudiger,
defenders.
Alonso, Reece James was banging them in because that's when they were comparing him to Trent. Have you noticed Reece James is going to be quiet as well? All this talk about Reece James, one
Too
season
many
hype,
injuries, man.
one season hype. But I'm gonna jump on that train later. But look, Chelsea won. I don't know what their aim is now. What's their aim? Like Dortmund, it's got to be Champions League, right? Obviously, we're going to get Eurostars on Thursday. What else is there for Chelsea to target?
Europa League. To get Europa League places. Chelsea, one of the things I wanted to talk about, Chelsea, took Bowley after the game. They asked him, are you happy with the result? He said, it's just a result. Chelsea have not scored more than a goal in the whole of 2023 in any game. So are we expecting them to score more than a goal against Dortmund? Dortmund, top of the Bundesliga right now. They're flying for some reason. They're flying. Somehow they found the rhythm, Dortmund. Chelsea winning against Leeds. Yes, we trust them at the Stamford Bridge. But is it 1-0? Is going to go to penalties? I don't trust Chelsea to score more than a goal. And that's based on the track record over the past 3 months. So,
yeah, but you know my thoughts on Dortmund. Look,
yes,
I get it.
There's bad news for
Absolutely
Dortmund.
respect.
Logic.
The goalkeeper's out, Kobel, and he is been a massive difference for them. The other goalkeeper, what's his name, Maya? He's not a good goalkeeper.
Isn't it Hits or something?
Yeah, no, I think the guy who played was Maya. I
How
always get
did
confused between him and this new ball guy.
How did the goalkeeper get injured?
Of course, he got.
Did he play on the weekend?
Nah, he didn't. He didn't play on the weekend. From
Okay,
what I know.
well, look, how many wins, Mo? What did you say? 10 wins out of 10 or something?
They got
Or
11
whatever.
wins in a row or something like this.
11 wins in a row. Okay, no problem. They got my boy Jude. Hold tight, Jude. I'm nasty. I want Jude to get knocked out so he can start.
Really?
He can start announcing. Yeah, he can
Nah,
announce.
don't do that. Nah. I need Jude to rise
He's
tomorrow.
a title
He
race,
needs to
bro.
rise
And
tomorrow.
Title race.
you're there in a title race, so they won't announce
Yeah.
it. So yeah.
Can't
All
announce
right,
anything.
stay there. Keep, you know what I mean? Keep knocking on that price. Keep knocking up that price. You know what I mean? That's why I want him to get knocked out early. But you guys rate Dortmund more than me, so I don't know what to say. Of course, we've seen Chelsea. I don't rate Chelsea like that either. I think it's a very mid game. I think it's one of those games where both teams will be thinking they can get through. You just can't call it. I think Dortmund will be confident, and Chelsea should be confident at home because over at their ground, we remember the game. They had a lot of chances, but again, couldn't effing score. Chelsea, I think will go through me personally, Michael.
I'm just gonna back Dortmund because I hate Chelsea right now. So I'm just gonna hope Jude, Adeyemi, Marco Reus step up for once. In like the last 5 years, you haven't stepped up. Please step up. Julian Brandt on the form of his life.
Has Mikoko been playing?
Nah, he hasn't really been playing.
No, not really.
I think since Allaire came back, I think Mokoko's gone down.
Yeah, Makoki's injured anyway. I think Modest is the one who's been coming on. Modest isn't even.
There you go.
He's just here to he's just an old man. Yeah,
this is what I mean. Chelsea, I think all their eggs are in the Champions League basket, and for that reason, I think they'll qualify. I genuinely think that. But let's see how it goes.
Based on the big team, yes, but
you're saying Dortmund.
Like the logic I can't back it. You know what I mean? Like I can't sit here and say that okay, Chelsea are gonna go through because they won a game, but Dortmund won 10 and they just won against Leipzig 2-1. It's tough to call because it's only 1-0. But again, I don't see Chelsea scoring more than a goal a game.
That's the problem.
All Dortmund needs to do is score one because Chelsea ain't scoring more than a goal. So all Dortmund have to do is just score one goal. That's it.
Yeah,
just one goal.
Done.
Because Chelsea ain't scoring more than one.
No, but that I think this got the potential. Then the way we're building it out, this got the potential to be penalties. Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And also might be Chelsea's game to score now. Might be
Dortmund, I know they're free flowing, but there's a difference between free flowing and free scoring. I don't rate Dortmund at the back. That's the problem. We've seen them crumble. I know they just won 11 games in a row, so maybe the wrong time to talk about their crumbleness. But we've seen it 3-0 up, 2-0 up, and suddenly bang.
This year they're better though. With Schlotterbeck and Schuler, that's Germany's centre-back pairing. Although if you put Schlotterbeck under proper pressure, I've seen him crumble sometimes. But listen, with Kobel in there, if he is fit, the goalkeeper, I fancy Dortmund 100%. But with the second choice goalkeeper, I've seen some funny goals go past him. So it's one of those ones where if he's in there, that's a bit of a bad sign for Dortmund. And at the same time, though, with Chelsea strikers, we don't really know. They're so hit and miss. So it's going to be a tight game. I can't see that many goals in it. Actually.
From Chelsea to another London team who's struggling as well. Wow. Tottenham Hotspur, Conte, Harry Kane, Son, all of these mans. What is going on, Michael? Wolves away. Wolves again, one of those weird teams. Again, another team that can't score goals.
Yeah,
and it took a crazy finish from Traore. Like it was weird angle, height, and he managed to just smash into the top corner. And then he misses tap-ins, or he can't even cross like a basic cross. And he's one of the most weirdest players you've ever likely to see. Yeah. But when you look at that Wolves team, I mean, I don't know if I've told you guys, but I rate Kilman very, very highly. Like I'm talking big boy move for Kilman. But the rest of that team don't inspire me at all.
Costa's done. He actually has ruptured an ACL. He's done.
Oh, this game.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you serious?
I think his career is over.
That's finished. No. That's finished then. That's absolutely finished if that's true.
Crying on the stretcher. So I don't wish that on anybody, to be honest.
That's sad, man.
he was really crying because I think this was his last chance to revive a little bit of the last.
But it was a weird move, Mo.
It was, and it didn't work out. He hasn't scored for them. Pablo Sarabia, another weird transfer for them. Michael, right? Pablo Sarabia, not performing really well. Pedro Neto is done after the 2 ACLs back to back. Ruben Neves, though, and Lemina have been playing really well together next to each other in the midfield, actually. Lemina somehow is successful.
Yeah, I mean, I rate Lopetegui. Obviously, he was doing a really good job at Sevilla until this year, obviously, when they just started crumbling. But before that, he was doing really good. I rate Matheus Nunes. Grizz, I know you guys are after him potentially, but he's cold. I wanted him from Sporting. Ruben Neves, I mean, this guy is one of the most underrated midfielders in the league. Pedro Neto was my boy. I mean,
so check this out. So check this out. Ruben Neves is also liked by Liverpool. So Ruben Neves and Nunes have totally different profiles, right? Yeah. So talk to me. Ruben Neves is obviously a deep lying playmaker, powerful but slow.
Yeah, he's not the quickest, but he's intelligent. He's intelligent though.
Yeah, but it's not that slow. He's slow, but it's not that bad. Like you can get about still.
And Nunes is one of the best progressive. Like his dribbling is just nuts. He can.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
Why not?
I mean, I don't think he's a 10. That's the first thing. I think he's not a 10. I think he's like a left center mid and an 8, like in a 3-man midfield.
Wolves people that I've been speaking to say he's been giving the ball away a lot recently. He's not.
Yeah.
That's a Portuguese.
Yes, exactly what it is. Okay. If you're playing in a team like Wolves and you are that superstar, you need to shine. Like Ruben, every week we're talking about Ruben Neves, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about Matheus Nunes putting a good performance week in, week out, but we come here and say, okay, Ruben Neves this, Ruben Neves that. And if you're not doing this with Wolves, it might be a wrong environment for him, but he had 2 coaches and he hasn't performed. I'm a suspect of, okay, is this guy actually the real talent we talked about? But maybe, you know what? Based on what I've seen this season, he's not it. But you know, sometimes
it takes a big move to another club, better players, your motivation. A lot of people are saying he doesn't look interested. His motivation ain't there, especially if he knows a team like Liverpool is waiting, already agreed a price from what I understand. It's just a matter of if we want to activate it or not. Like a 45 million pound move is ready for us. But I'm not sure if we're going to activate it because we've got targets like Mason Mount, who would you say is a similar type player, guys? Or totally
no.
Mason Mount is more of a 10. Mason Mount is more of a 10. Mason Mount.
Yeah.
Matheus Nunes looks like a box-to-box player, which is, I think, there is a lot better on the market. Moises Caicedo is better.
Not on the market.
Huh?
Caicedo is not on the market.
What I mean, he's on the market still, just because he's on a contract.
120 million. You wanna over 100 M?
No, 75 million. 75 million.
Bro, winter and summer prices are 2 different things. That's 2 different markets.
You know what the problem is, Grizz, is that Matheus Nunes is kind of similar profile, similar spot, similar position, similar way of playing than Bellingham, but way less technicality, way less abilities. So if you're gonna get an 8, you gotta put your money on Bellingham. Nunes is gonna be a bench player. Because I've heard it here a lot on Football Khanage that you're getting Bellingham. So I gotta believe you and say if you're gonna get Bellingham, Nunes is just another guy to put on the bench, to be honest.
They couldn't play together. They couldn't play together. They couldn't play like so. For example, we're gonna get minimum 2 midfielders, right? And Jude is done, okay, as without signing. Okay, but pretty much. So if we get Jude profile, just from a Liverpool point of view, in fact, we'll get into the Liverpool chat now. So Jude, do you think Nunes and Jude couldn't play on this as 2 8s?
But you need a defensive midfielder.
Get Neves. Jude and Neves would be good. That'd be a good combo.
Yeah. Defensive midfielder. Yes, absolutely correct, Billa.
Because we are contemplating Neves or.
Then it has to be
such
Neves.
A brilliant relationship with Mendes. He's our boy. You know what I mean? It's pick who you want, and Wolves wants, and Mendes won't say no. I'm not convinced with Neves in our team the way we play. I know Fabinho's slow, but I'm not convinced with Neves. But he gives us that shot outside the box, which sometimes we lack, because we can strike a ball.
He would be top at Liverpool, especially if he's got the Bellinghams and maybe got someone else near him as well to just give more energy in that team. Ball distribution, top. As you said, crosses,
Neves,
set pieces,
Mount,
all of that sort of stuff.
How's Neves, Mount, and Bellingham. Three midfielders.
That's getting cooked on That's getting cooked in transition. I'm sorry, because Mason Mount and Jude are going to be way too high up the pitch.
No, Bellingham's
Dude, Jude can defend. What are you talking about? Jude
no,
is
he can, but I just don't trust that team, and like I just think that's not.
Why not? I think Mount and Jude have the legs.
Who would you have trusted? Elliott?
I love Harvey Elliott, man.
Well, we're gonna get into the main event.
But don't you have Thiago anyway? Isn't Thiago gonna be the left center mid?
31.
He's 31. Injury.
No, but he's gonna be starting though. I know he's not gonna play as many games rotation or not, but Thiago will be in the starting 11, like in the strongest games.
Michael,
in and out, innit? Yeah, you know what it's like.
Michael talking about Thiago is as Man United people talking about Martial.
Respect Thiago, please. Respect
Thiago.
Thiago's good career, but Liverpool need to move past.
I don't even like Thiago. I don't even like Thiago like that. But please respect Thiago. Don't compare him to that ambulance at number 9, man, please.
Yeah, not to Martial. Yeah, Mo, allow it. Not to Martial.
Yeah, but what I mean is that you'll need.
Yeah, Pogba's a better example. Thank you.
You need some consistency in your lineup, Grizz, like what you did in the last 3-4 years. You cannot rely on someone who's going to get 6 games in and then 3 games out.
But Michael, these guys won't be replacing him. They will be
replacing
Keita, Ox.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to go as high profile because you could get someone that's like cheaper. That could be like.
But this is what I'm saying. Jude is going to be the.
Jude's going to be the expensive one. That's what I'm saying. But like a Nunes or Neves, for example, I think will be like
40 million. Both. Mount, Nunes, the one that you just mentioned. Wolves, Neves, Nunes, Mount. They're all going to be 40 to 50 million.
Yeah, no, but I don't think Neves can play alone 6 though. That's the thing. I think he needs to play in a pivot. He's going to be the 6.
But he plays at Wolves. That's what I'm saying.
He can play the 6.
No, he can definitely
play the 6. And in Portugal as well, by the way.
I know. He'll play the 6, but like in a pivot, like you see at Wolves, he has Lamina next to him.
The one I want, and we are linked with is if you're talking about Sporting Lisbon, let's keep an eye on
Ugarte. If you sign, that's a bad boy signing. That's a signing that I think you could get and then put Jude and like a Mount. That's a midfield.
Ugarte is an absolute animal. So he's playing you guys, Bilal. Keep an eye on Ugarte. Make sure.
Someone said he might be out. He might be out for the first game, from what I've heard. That's what I've heard, but I'm not 100% sure.
No.
We'll see on Thursday.
Guys, smash a like. We're into the last final furlong. People thought it's Liverpool's final furlong as well. People thought Liverpool are coming to the end days. Man United rocked up at Anfield. Or did they rock up at Anfield, Michael? What on God's green earth happened there? Well, first and foremost, when you saw your lineup, and I'll speak to you from my aspect. I'm going to be honest. I got two selections very wrong from your lineup.
All right, first of all, I didn't want Dalo. That's the first thing. I wanted Wan-Bissaka to play. That's the first thing. And Wout Weghorst at the time. Actually, no. Bruno on left wing. Erik ten Hag.
What was the thinking?
That's the thing. I love Erik ten Hag with all my heart and everything. That's changed my life, everything. But what is the thought process of Bruno Fernandes at left wing? Trent, obviously, you're gonna gas on Trent and everything, but Trent is not the strongest defensively, and Marcus Rashford has gotten the best of him at times. Even Anthony Elanga in the reverse fixture got the best of him. So why not put someone that can actually cause Trent a threat and make him think about defending and then not focus as much on his offensive duties? Bruno Fernandes is not going to cause any threat to Trent. And that space that Trent leaves, Bruno Fernandes cannot attack because he's not that quick enough. So I don't get the thought process. The pivot, Fred makes sense, I guess. Maybe Sabitzer and Casemiro haven't played that many games together. The 3, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, I wouldn't have expected that. I would have played Wan-Bissaka. I think he's in better form than Dalo. Anthony, we don't have another right. Well, we do have another right winger, but he won't start. It's okay lineup. Obviously, tactically, I don't think it wasn't like a 7-0 because of tactics. Obviously, I'll get into the reason why it became 7-0, but tactically, that first half played decent. We created the better chances until that goal happened. So we set up decently. Obviously, I'll get into like the actual things that ended up going wrong, but it wasn't a lineup that I expected to get battered like this. So I was okay with the lineup. Obviously, like I said, Wan-Bissaka and a couple other changes might have been better, but I didn't even know what Ten Hag was thinking.
No, there's a lot of arrogance in this lineup. There's a lot of arrogance in this lineup from Manchester United. Dalo is a more attacking guy than Wan-Bissaka. In the midfield, playing Weghorst as a 10. He wanted to take advantage of having 2 forwards and Bruno Fernandes pushing forward and Fred as well, not playing Sabitzer. Sabitzer is can defend. I think he, like everybody else, like us, like everybody, expected Klopp to change the way they play and defend like he did against Man City or against Arsenal, and Klopp didn't. They started on the front foot, Liverpool, and I have the notes here and saying the first 15 minutes is total domination by Liverpool. Yes, they didn't concede a chance, but because a couple of chances were last-ditch tackles by Manchester United. Remember the last-ditch tackle by Martinez?
I'm so glad someone neutral is mentioning this, because all I've seen is Man United fans tell me, "Oh, we were the better team." You wasn't the better team.
No, they created three chances. Yes, they had three.
One was offside, by the way.
On the goal.
One was offside. It was just.
But I have on my notes right here. I'm reading my notes that I wrote through the game, and I'm saying my notes is that the first time you got a chance was the minute 30. So the first 30 minutes, you were under pressure. You were under pressure by the press. Weghorst couldn't handle. You know, he lost his head in the minute, I think, 14, and he almost hit somebody because he kept losing the ball. You remember that? You remember that the play? He almost lost his head and almost hit somebody. I'm not saying that Man United didn't play well, but I thought that lineup was so arrogant to play Weghorst as a 10. He's really disrespecting Liverpool. And I expected him to actually play three midfielders. And we talked about this, Grizz, on Never a Foul. I said I'm expecting him to play Fred, Sabitzer, and Casemiro.
100%.
Because you can't go to Anfield. You want to dominate the midfield. But playing Weghorst as a 10 and Rashford up top. Rashford didn't touch the ball until minute 28. Didn't get involved in the game until minute 28. That's a lot of arrogance from Ten Hag. He got it completely wrong. And I'm not going to talk about the second half. I'm talking about the time that Man United fans are saying that we dominated. You didn't. You created chances on the transition, but you conceded the play for about 30 minutes. And Liverpool could have scored if Martinez weren't like on alert for that ball that crossed that Nunes touched inside the 6. That's a clear-cut chance. It touched his toes and went to a corner kick. It could have been 1-0.
Bilal, is that the game plan that you thought Man United are going to bring? Like, he tried to do something different when I don't think he needed to do something different. Do you remember, guys, we were talking about in the build-up? He needs to play to the strengths and the best abilities of the players he's got. Rashford has been the best left winger in Europe, one of. Remember, we discussed it. Weghorst has been the target man who the likes of Anthony and Rashford played off. And Bruno, he completely kind of revamped it all.
Yeah. For me, I was shocked by two things from the lineup and seeing them set up. One was Wan-Bissaka. I thought he was nailed on starting in this game. And if you've got a player like Wan-Bissaka who can lock up right backs, wingers rather, you've got to play him at right back and not Dalot, who for me, Dalot is suspicious defensively and even attacking wise. I don't think what he offers is good enough to drop a Wan-Bissaka. And then when the game starts off, I thought Bruno, Fred, and Casemiro would be in that midfield and they would, run around and try and combat Liverpool. And that's what I thought that would be fine because at least Bruno, we know he can run up and down, although he's annoying to watch, although he's a frustrating player, although he's a bit of a madman. Him in the midfield with Fred and Casemiro, they should be able to just at least give them legs and then put Weghorst up front. And crucially, Rashford on the left in his best position. Why would you take Rashford out of his best position in a position where Liverpool this season have come under a lot of pressure with Trent? He's been under a lot of pressure, whether it's against Real Madrid or it's against Brighton. A lot of teams have been using that side. And why didn't Ten Hag use that? Imagine Trent seeing Bruno there. He must have been laughing to himself, thinking, okay, today might be an easy day for him, So I think Ten Hag messed up there. I think there was a lot of arrogance, right? There's one thing with fans being arrogant about a game. I think Ten Hag, to be honest, showed that he was very maybe overconfident, overestimated his team, and he didn't. And before the game, you saw his comments about Anfield. You saw his comments about, all of it's just a normal ground. It's all of this. No, even Alex Ferguson at his best, right? He would go to the likes of Liverpool away. He'd go to the likes of Arsenal away, and he would set up shop. He would be very hard to break down, and then they will play on the counter. That's what Man United have done for years and years. That's the tradition of their club. But Ten Hag's gone away from that, and that's his Ajax side in him, right? And yeah, he's just not got that experience.
But Michael, we've been praising him, and rightly so. He's deserved praise. Okay, no problem. First half, you can mess up. You guys have messed up a lot of times in the first half. You guys are known to be coming strong in the second half, right? How many times have you told us we're second half team, whatever? He could have made the changes. He could have seen the issues of the first half. But it was like you guys Like we just went wild, and you guys got caught in that famous Anfield atmosphere and hype. Just like, do you remember Arteta was spoken about in the documentary where he says sometimes you go to Anfield and you just don't know what the fuck is going on. He didn't make any changes, no tactical changes. What we've been discussing, like, what's his name? Your manager?
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag sees, Ten Hag. He's gone down a little bit now, but he sees tactical things very early, and he makes the changes. Michael, he froze.
Yeah, I get that, but I also want to talk about some of these players' performances because that was.
Well, you're gonna go into the players. Okay, no problem. Go to the
players. I'm not. I know Ten Hag messed up, and this was his worst coach game ever. But some of that defending was Ten Hag cannot do anything about that. Luke Shaw was at fault for like 5 of the goals. This guy, the second half, bro, they capitulated. The manager couldn't even any changes he made was not going to change anything. The way that these players lost their head, they capitulated, and that's the biggest problem. What do they say? A leopard doesn't change its spots. Some of these players, I thought they changed. Like Luke Shaw, I've been gassing him up. This guy would just nothing to do. Casemiro could not pass the ball to save his life yesterday. I don't know what was going on.
Well, I've got the stats here for Casemiro. I've got it ready, right? Passing accuracy, lads, 62%. Possession 1 in the defensive third, 0. Tackles 1, 0. Casemiro.
He was horrible yesterday, and I've been onto his passing ever since the Barca first leg. I remember I said that he was at fault for that second goal that Barca scored, and the passing has been horrible ever since. And now you're seeing the limitations to his game and why we need a center mid next to him that is not Fred or Sabitzer. We need a Frankie De Jong type of midfielder that can actually control the tempo of the game. Dalot, that first goal, this guy was marking the striker. Go guard the wing. Go guard the wing. Go guard the fullback. Go defend the other winger. Why is this guy marking the center back? What is his problem? Lisandro Martinez on the island with the Mohamed Salah. He absolutely cooked him. He lost his head. Bruno Fernandes, you are the captain. Why are you not running? Bagatich cooked him, and this guy just stopped running.
That was
all what you're saying, Michael. All what you say is fine, but we're gonna say it again. If you play football, you know when a player is not performing, you point to the player. When a whole team, along with the bench, are not performing, there's only one way to point.
No, I get that tactically, but
listen to me. Let me tell you something. Lisandro Martinez is not his job to defend one-on-one the whole game. He was left isolated the whole game. He got cooked. Fair enough.
Yeah, I get
Diego Dalot was left with Cody Gakpo, who's actually a false 9. He's not a winger. And that's tactics. And Anthony did not defend. Robertson received the ball from Alisson for the first goal with 20 yards around him. Robertson is the left fullback. Who should be marking him? Anthony. Anthony was watching like the rest of us. He was like applauding Alisson for the long ball. Watch, like the rest of us. And then Robertson goes, puts the throw in behind. All these players were left exposed by the wrong tactics. One-on-one, a forward, one-on-one with a defender, 1-2 times the forward should win because technically a forward or a winger is superior technically. There should be in football something called coverage, and your team did not defend with any coverage. You were left exposed. Each and every single player was left exposed on that pitch. Casemiro was left on an island by himself, by Fred trying to occupy the space that Vigors left because Vigors is not a midfielder. Liverpool completely dominated them with 70% position before they even score a goal, my friend. 70% position. Your average passing percentage in this season is 83%. Before they scored, and I'm talking no second half here, the period you said you were better, your passing percentage is 70%. You created 3 chances, and Grizz said one was offside, and the referee let it go. You conceded 8 shots. 4 of them were blocked inside the 18. Your team was left exposed by the wrong tactics.
I get that. No, but Ten Hag will take blame, but we cannot let the players get away with that second half performance. I know Ten Hag is tactically, bro. That was they just stopped playing. No matter what, just stop playing. And Ten Hag should have shut up shop. I don't know why he didn't shut up shop and just do limit control damage. Like let it go. Like stop at 4-0. Like he just kept letting it go and going. But bro, some of these players stopped playing, and we saw it against Man City. We saw it against Brentford. They just stopped playing, and that's mentality. These players, bro. Bruno, last year when Liverpool beat us 5-0, bro. Some of these players were there when they lost 5-0. Man up. Last week we won a cup. Last week we won a cup. Bro,
you
tactics.
Can't stop running. I don't know about close-up shot. I know, but I know a couple of players look like they're running.
David De Gea, bro, he got chipped at his near post. How is that possible? How do you get chipped at the near post?
I wanted to speak on that. I mean,
bro, this guy's. I told you 2 weeks, bro. This guy is not a good goalkeeper. He cannot prevent goals.
He made himself look smaller. How can a goalkeeper do that?
He always does that. He always does that. That's what I'm telling you about David De Gea. He's the worst goalkeeper at near post.
I wish I had that skill to look smaller. I want to look smaller.
You know what I said? You know what I said? David De Gea should donate his wages to us this week because he is a criminal. That was a criminal offense to get chipped at the near post. Luke Shaw. Bro, this guy's on very thin ice right now. I don't want to see him for the next month. That was his worst game in 6 months. I do not want to see him for the next month.
You have an agenda against De Gea. He's one of the best.
No, he's not. No. Don't do that to David De Gea. I don't have it. No, I don't have it. This guy is shit at football. He's 17th.
Because you lost 7-0.
He's 17th in goals prevented. No, don't do it. He's 17th in goals prevented this year. 17th.
He saved you many games this year. Many games.
Bro, a goalkeeper made a save. Congratulations. How about preventing the goal? I see Alisson preventing goals before the shot even happens. That's a testament of a real goalkeeper.
Huh? How is that?
Alisson. Because by sweeping, he comes off his line. Before the player can even shoot. Making himself look bigger. I've never seen David De Gea make himself look bigger in a one-on-one.
He can't make himself look bigger. He looks the same scrawny teenager that he came
in 2011. He never. That's why I said a leopard doesn't change his spots. David De Gea will always be a sensational shot stopper, but when the chips fall down,
I'm laughing at the comments about Anthony. To be honest.
Oh, can I cook this guy?
Yeah, go on, Anthony. Go on, Anthony, because I'm with you on Anthony.
Do you guys want to know how many big chances Anthony has created this season?
Go on.
0. Steve Cook, Daniel Armarty have more big chances created than my 100 million winger. He is a pathetic excuse.
Make sure you WhatsApp that to me right now. I'm going to use that. On the WhatsApp
0. And Grizz, I never I don't rate this guy. I said I don't rate this guy. I think that is a worse signing than Alexis Sanchez to Man United. This is the worst signing. I don't care about his 3 goals. Nah, I don't care about his consistent.
Barca winner. Come on, man.
Give you a good night. I don't care about Barca anymore. That game is erasing.
Bilal, stop it.
Yesterday, yesterday's result is something. Yesterday's result cannot be revenge until we ever smack up Liverpool 7-0. That's the only way we can get back.
That's never happening.
I don't care if it happens. I don't care if it happens in 2069. I don't care when it happens. We gotta get it back in blood, bro. I want these guys docked wages for the next 2 months. I hate them. I hate every single player that played yesterday. Marcus Rashford will get away with it a lot because he's carried me for the last couple of months. I'll allow it. But Luke Shaw, his captaincy needs to get stripped. Bruno's captaincy needs to get stripped today. His captaincy needs to get stripped today. But Gary Neville owes him an apology because Gary Neville made up that he tried to get subbed off. That was false. So Gary Neville needs to apologize to him. That's another guy. Gary Neville needs to get taken off commentary today. He's a weasel. He needs to get taken off commentary.
And last player, I just want to hear your opinion. The Butcher himself. I know you're a massive fan of the Butcher. Explain to me, because earlier on you was talking about shop. I know man went to a shop when Salah. Man sent him to the shops. He didn't close up. He left it open. What happened to?
First of all, I'm gonna say this: the way Mo Salah. I can't even hate Mo Salah anymore. The way he cooked me yesterday, he's the second greatest Premier League winger of all time. There you go. He's better than Eden Hazard. Obviously, I'll never put it.
No, he's the best. He's the best.
I'll never have him over CR7. I'll never have him over CR7. That's biased.
He's cleared CR7 in Prem.
Bro,
he's cleared him.
Yo, bro, he made me fall in love with football. I can't say he's better than CR7. CR7 made me fall in love with football. It's a bias thing. But Salah is the greatest right winger of all time, and the way he cooked up Lisandro Martinez, he got put on a poster, 4K TV. I can't even gas him anymore for the rest of the season. He can't be in team of the season anymore because, bro, that's a cooking. I can't get over it.
Bro, it looked like, when
it went on the Jumbotron.
They leave one baby behind, or one kid behind, and you think, yeah, you're here now, you might as well just play. It was like one baby kid amongst men. Bro, Lisandro Martinez.
And this is what Ten Hag needs to do. Ten Hag needs to take off Lisandro Martinez because Lisandro Martinez is a hothead. We've seen his quotes. This guy says he wants to kill people on the pitch.
I said this at the start of the season. I said he's going to lose his head in so many games. And now you're seeing it. They just haven't been tested enough.
Yeah, obviously.
But he's been involved in your biggest defeats.
Okay, I get that. Okay, I get that.
You know what I mean? The biggest defeats. Brentford, Man City, and Liverpool now. You can't be You can't tell me you're the best defensive partnership in the Premier League.
Yeah,
and you're
obviously,
holding 4, 6, 7, and you're creating and Leicester City created at least 5 chances, but like we discussed earlier, they can't score.
Yeah, so obviously, like with Lisandro Martinez, obviously I still think he's a great player. I still think he's a top center back, but obviously I can't say he's the best anymore because he got absolutely cooked. So we're gonna have to say that for next year again until we get it back in blood. But he got cooked. Mohamed Salah is a world class talent, one of the best players in the world. You get cooked, it happens. But he needs the hothead. This is what Ten Hag he did against Brentford. He took him off at 4-0 at halftime. We didn't concede another goal because we just set up shop. We set up shop against Brentford. And we should have done that yesterday. Bring Harry Maguire, Lindelof on. They obviously they're not as good, but they can stop maybe limit the damage a little bit. But Casemiro, maybe he's injured or something. I don't know. That was abysmal performance. He better be injured.
I've heard way too much excuses. Bilal, I'm gonna let you end with some Liverpool loving and glowing, please, because everything that you recognize from Liverpool for 5 years and we haven't seen for this year, I'm sure you recognized.
Yeah, that felt like Liverpool. That is the Liverpool that, as I said, the suffocation of Anfield.
Suffocation. 30 minutes, he said. Mo, did you say 30 minutes that they had their first
Until
chance?
they got the first chance, yeah.
And Rashford touched the ball in what minute? 28th minute, you said.
Like the first meaningful touch. Before that was like just kind of like long balls and fouls and stuff like this. And it's kind of weird, man.
If you play Liverpool at Anfield, you need to show respect. That's all I have to say. And Ten Hag, you've learned a lesson. And I'm sure from now on, whenever he goes back to Anfield, he's going to show the respect that ground deserves. Because you can't be going there and thinking you're going to play your nice ticky-tacky football, mate.
Remember that tweet? What did I say? Speak to me nice. From now on, he's going to speak to me nice. He's not going to say, oh, it's just a pitch. And there's ball. Yeah. There's air in the ball.
I agree with that.
Lungs, brother. There was no air in your lungs.
He said it after City. He said, thanks for the lesson. He better learn a lesson. On Thursday, I better see rotation on Thursday against Real. I said this on Thursday.
Is that what he said?
No. Against City. He said, thanks for the lesson. We'll learn from it. He better say that on Thursday. And on Thursday, by the way, when we play Real Betis, I better see every single player on that pitch pressing for 90 minutes. I better not see one player jogging. I don't care. Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, I don't care who it is. I better see 90 minutes of prime Liverpool pressing on Thursday. I don't want to see a single person jog for that whole game, because I know a lot of United fans on Twitter said yesterday, get over the result. It doesn't, bro. We got smacked up 7-0 by Liverpool. I don't care. That is the worst result in club's history. The last time they beat us that bad, we were called Newton Heath. Bro,
pretty wide. I can't even argue.
This is not because Grizz. I know if this was like the other way around, you would be the same as me. Right? That is not a loss you can get over, bro. I can't recover from it. And Wout Weghorst needs to leave my club tomorrow. I saw people say that we should sign him permanently. I can't handle that.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but he's got a long run back, man. Where you playing?
We're playing at Old Trafford out there. We're playing at Old Trafford. Yeah. And you know what Ten Hag said? Allegedly, he said that he was actually this close to making the players travel with the fans back to Manchester.
Yeah, Weghorst has got a long run.
Ten Hag should be going back with the fans, man.
I remember after Brentford, he ran the 13 kilometers with them. He better run 20 today.
Yeah, he better
run 20. He needs to run with them.
Responsible. But these Man United players, they've shown that they can. Even, you know why? When you talk about Luke Shaw, it resonated with me because it just gave me flashbacks to the Arsenal Man United game. And the one thing that was a recurring theme, if you guys go watch that game back, was every time Saka got the ball, Luke Shaw started going back. Man was retreating. He was going to De Gea. I remember he gave Saka the whole pitch.
Yeah, we talked about this, Bilal. They defended inside the 18 against Saka. They're scared. But I wanna say something. Just one thing about Man United difference between Liverpool and Man United yesterday. Man United don't have Jordan Henderson in terms of someone who will yell at the players instead of the referee, wake them up. Yesterday, there was nobody at Man United that took initiative to lead the team. Everybody was silent.
So you're saying they were wasting their time with the referee instead, moaning and bitching with the referee as opposed to the players.
Instead of yelling at your players and waking them up because it's 3-0 and you are about to get humiliated, right? They needed a leader, and I didn't see that leader. Jordan Henderson, we can criticize football as much as we can, but we've seen it in the World Cup in England. We've seen it in the World Cup against it. He was the real captain on the pitch. Sometimes you need these types of players on the pitch to wake everybody up because everybody looked like head down, we're lost again.
You always need players. At least one of your players has to be like that. We've seen from teams like Didier Deschamps to Makaleli to, I don't know, you can go through every nation, Dunga at
Even
Brazil.
the Roy Keane, the Patrick Vieira's, that's your
Maro
players. Wake
Silva,
up.
even the great teams, you know, you need one player who maybe you look at Carlos Puyol, you think, trap a ball. No, you can't even, but the attitude and hunger and desire is there. Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, and Elliott, even the Liverpool fan base was like, yo, what the hell? We're up against Casemiro, Bruno, and Fred here. What is going to happen here? Everyone was talking about how they're going to cook that midfield and there's no creativity in that midfield. All them three guys bullied Man United. All of them three bullied Man United. And it was a sight for sore eyes. 7-0. I've spoken enough and I've got another session to go. Yeah, I don't want to speak too much. I've spoken on Liverpool last 2 days. More than enough. Super chat to end with. As a Real Madrid, Sanjeet, thank you very much. He says, as a Real Madrid fan, Case is poor against pressing team. He is main reason for our Casemiro pressing team. He's the main reason for our Champions League exit against City, Chelsea, Ajax, and Camavinga was on pitch last year. Comeback.
I don't know about all that because I remember
you won the Champions League, man. What exit?
No. Before the loss to City, you remember 2 years ago. It's not last year.
When Jesus
that's when Ron got dunked on though by Gabriel Jesus, and the Ajax just absolutely capitulated them at Bernabeu. That was just
you can't blame Casemiro.
But bro, Man United. You know what? I don't like the fact that we play on Thursday. I want a month off from this team. I want international break today. I don't want to watch
you want to just play a game.
I want to ask you one last question before I know you want to end this. One last question. Was that a result, a reflection of Liverpool being too good for Man United or Man United being too poor in the game?
No, it's never one thing. I'm not that type of guy to be deluded one way or the other. You're right. It was 100% Liverpool being good. That was our best performance. We outran Man United. Man United outran us the first time round. Both things have never happened. We've always outrun Man United all the times we thrashed them. The one time they outran us, they beat us at Old Trafford 2-1. And we fixed that this time round. We outran them in every metric. We beat them in every metric.
I still think it was more when you get beat 7-0, most of the time it's the other team being that poor though, in my opinion. Bro, like losing that bad. Like if it was like a 4-0, I would say more good Liverpool, but 7-0, and especially I've seen some clips of the goals. We couldn't clear a ball. Simple clearing. We just couldn't clear the ball. I saw the ball 2 feet away from David De Gea.
The funniest.
I watched it back again. Please go pick up the freaking ball. It's 2 feet away.
You know what I'm gonna end that with? You know what that was? You know what that was?
Football's a humbler, man. I'm using your quotes, man.
That was Anfield. This has been Premier League Khanage. That was Anfield. This is Michael having a fit. We out of here. Take care, people. See you all very soon.